Any update on Jonquil?
Yeah, well, she tried to come back at half-time, but still had a little bit of pain, so I don't really know. I don't know if she's had any x-rays on that, and let's just hope that it's not too bad, that will keep her out.
And then for Sandy and Sabrina, just 8-0 start is the best in franchise history.
For me or her?
Sabrina and Sandy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sandy.
I mean, you could answer one of the players. Sorry, I picked on Sabrina. Just best start in franchise history. This team has been clicking in a lot of ways, even when things get clunky at times. You guys always seem to respond. Just start of the season.
Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say super proud of our group to be able to come in and have a sense of urgency every single game. We've come in, had some great wins, and also had wins where we had to grind it out. And I'd say every single game we've learned a lot as a group, continuing to just kind of fight through some adversity, but also continue to get better every game. And obviously 8-0 is great, but that's not what our goal is. And so going to take every single game kind of one by one and continue to just try and be better.
Corinne?
12 points. I think you guys allowed 12 points in that second quarter. Stewie, what'd you like about the defense the most in that quarter?
I mean, I think, we knew in the first quarter we didn't came out as aggressive as we wanted to be. So in the second, we just kind of picked them up earlier. Whether it was higher pickup points, guards were fighting through the screens, and the bigs were able to help them just contain the ball a little bit. And also just playing personnel, knowing what they're looking for. They're looking for that pocket pass most of the time, so we can be really off on the weak side.
And one for you quickly, Sabrina. Quickest in the league to 400 threes, franchise record. I know there's so many accolades, but what does this one mean?
Yeah, I didn't know about the quickest one in the league, so that's kind of news to me, but obviously knew about the franchise record in the locker room. They gave me the game ball, so obviously thankful, continuing to just try and be the best that I can for my teammates, continuing to get better every single kind of year from the three-point line, and trying to just continue to better my game as an all-around player. And so obviously in the moment I don't think I've really realized, but maybe after the season, it's one of those things that it's pretty cool. I'm in great company. There's a lot of great players that have put on a Liberty uniform, and to know that I'm kind of up there with them is really special.
Sandy, I know we've talked a lot about Kennedy, but just what she's been able to come in and provide off the bench, and just her efficiency of doing it. She's shooting close to 60% from three.
Yeah, no, it's been great, and certainly we've needed all of those three-point shots too, and I think it's just the work she put in the off-season, and the confidence that she has in that shot, and the confidence that we have in her taking that shot. So that was great for us. I thought, when JJ goes down, that's always tough. There's such a big player for us to lose, and she stood up. But Izzy Harrison, I mean, we have to compliment what she did, able to come in, and I mean, they got some big posts there, so we needed Izzy with both our big fives out.
Stewie, this is a question for you. For a player who's accomplished so much in this league, what do you see from Kiki Arifin as she plays the same position as you?
Yeah.
So what do you think about her game?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I like most about her game is she's under control. She doesn't get sped up, and that's one of the biggest things as you make the jump from college to WNBA is, a lot of times you're playing too fast. People are saying slow down, and she's looking to make the reads. And I think, she'll just continue to grow. I told her at the free throw line she has to stop sticking her hand in there because I'm going to draw that foul almost every time. But she's willing to learn, and she works hard from what I see, so obviously she's going to have a great career.
We'll go over to Zoom, starting with Lucas.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. I just wanted to ask Sandy about one more player off the bench. Beck Gardner ended up, I know it's a single game plus minus, but having the highest mark on the team. I guess, does that make sense with what she gave you tonight with her minutes?
Yeah, no, 100%. Probably could have played her a little bit more there, but we had to change up the lineups with what we needed out there. But she was good, and she's just so crafty. I mean, defensively, she gets better every game, and I think she just makes plays. When the ball comes to her, she makes really good plays.
Thanks. Safe travels.
Jackie?
Hey all, Stewie, you all scored, I think it was 13 points in that fourth quarter, but none of them were assisted on. I'm just curious why it was so difficult to, move the ball and get points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job turning up the pressure, making it difficult for us to kind of get in our sets. And we had some different lineups that aren't normally together. And between Sab and I, we just need to do a better job of putting everybody in the right position to succeed. Because when we move the ball well, that's when we're at our best. So got a little bit choppy there, but this is a hungry team in DC, and obviously their record doesn't show how they are, and they're going to continue to fight through all the games that they're in.
And Sabrina, you talked about how, as a team, you all learned something from each game. So I'm just curious what you took away and learned from this one and just sort of how it went.
Well, we had 2 to 3 bench players that came in and played starter minutes. Obviously, like Stewie just mentioned, we haven't practiced that combination many times, and to see them come in and be so effective. KB 4 for 4 from the 3-point line, Marine coming in hitting a big shot, Izzy and Beck, what they were able to do kind of goes without saying. And I'd say that's kind of that next man up mentality, is understanding we have belief in every single player on this team, and when your number's called, you got to be ready to go out and help us win a game. And today I think we saw collectively we were able to do that with obviously a big piece missing, and really proud of the bench for being able to come in and step up big for us.
Thank you.
Russell?
Hi, everybody. Question is for Stewie. I know it's only been 8 games, but maybe at risk of making something out of nothing here, you are averaging nearly 8 free throw attempts per game. It's most in your career. Just wondering why you think that is, and if that was, maybe intentional for you going into the season.
It's probably a point of emphasis for the refs. I don't know. I think that I'm just continuing to be aggressive and really kind of able to change game by game based on personnel and who's going to match up with me. But, knowing that anytime the guards, Sab or Tosh, are able to set a smash screen, I'll get downhill. Like, my person is going to be late, and just getting into the paint and being aggressive.
Thank you.
Jeff?
Hello, all. Congrats on the win. My question would be for Sabrina. You've never been one to kind of focus on the records. You've always said, talk to me when I'm number one. But when you get that three-pointer and when you're able to contribute in a way, even when your shooting isn't there tonight, I believe you led the team with 7 assists. What does it mean to contribute on a night where you were needed most, where one of the so-called big three goes down with an injury? What did it mean to contribute and make these contributions on a night like this?
Yeah, well, I pride myself on that, understanding that obviously bring versatility on the offensive end. Everyone talks about my shooting, but, I'd say my passing is probably what keeps me on the floor, understanding that whether my shot's going in or not, I'm going to be able to make the right read, get Stewie going, continuing to believe in my teammates and make the right play. And so regardless of my shooting tonight wasn't my best shooting night, but being able to stay on the floor and impact the game, impact winning is really what I pride myself on. And I probably won't shoot 2 for 10 next game and just continue to chip away and be better. But as long as we're in the win column, I'm happy.
And quick one for Sandy. What was the message to the team after John Quell went down, and how do you think they responded? Appreciate your time and insight.
Yeah, it's just next player mentality. It's good for us to face some adversity. And we don't want to see any of our players injured, and hopefully it's not too bad. But we had to just focus on the moment and, the players that we had available. And I thought that they stepped up. They were ready and to contribute to the best of their ability. Was it our best game? No, but we find ways to win because, we don't want to win all the time easily. We need to be pushed, and this is the way that we can grow. So I was happy with the win and how we were able to just, to find a way to get some stops when we needed to. Obviously, execution can be better. We've got footage now.
Alfred?
Hi, this question is for Coach. Hi, Coach. You've coached some terrific shooters such as Danny Tarazzi and another name on the Liberty's all-time three-point list, Becky Hammond. What are some traits that Sabrina Ionescu shares with them that makes her one of the all-time shooters in this league?
Yeah, just the confidence. I think just their ability, they've been great for so long. You look at their technique, the way that they can get it off so quickly. They don't need too much space. They're very versatile, can catch and shoot. I mean, off the dribble, just how they can get their shot out with a little, it's really impressive to see just how great they are at what they do. And like Sabrina, she was 2 from 10 tonight, but I mean, what an amazing accomplishment for her to get to, the first one to make 400. That's pretty cool. And that shows how special she is.
Great, thank you.
We'll take 2 more, starting with Andrew.
Thanks, Brian. As always, just for you, Stewie, with Brittany Sykes, the last game, her having 20, and you know how Slim has been playing this season, just your thoughts about how you're defending her in regards to her facing off against Tosh and how entertaining that is with how they know each other, that same Northeast energy. Just your thoughts on just seeing that up close right there.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Tosh and Sykes really go at it is, it's tough, I think, because they're both incredible in what they do on both ends of the floor. And the fact that they have such a relationship for many years playing together. And Tosh knows her well and tries to give her her best shot at whatever to making things difficult. And Sykes has had an incredible start to the season, and we were able to thankfully slow her down a little bit. But, she still gets in the paint, like, all the time.
We'll finish with Maddie.
Breanna, this is only the second time in league history that 2 teams have gone 8-0 to start the season. The last time was in 2016, and it was Minnesota and Los Angeles, and they met in the finals that year. Obviously, the other team is Minnesota. What does this just say about the way that both the teams that played in the finals last year are playing at such a high level so early on and kind of setting that tone?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it, just the ability to kind of set the tone. And I think for us, we're hungry for more. We know what we did last year and how incredible and amazing that was, but we want to be consistently better than what we were last year and consistently great in everything that we do. So, the 8-0 is great, but when we focus one game at a time, like that's our priority, is winning the next game and winning the next game. And if we're still undefeated, then that's great.